Hello movement, and congratulations on your new movie or video, Zeitgeist Moving Forward. This is a reply to it and what I see as the major problems concerning transition. Let me explain my position first and foremost. I am a huge fan of the movement, of the Venus project, of the first videos when they came out, 2-3 years ago. I was just blown away that people were thinking and explaining these things, like the replacement of labor by machines and how the monetary system isn't sustainable and the math doesn't add up long term. And I think that's just awesome. The theory, the observation that doesn't work is great, and it's great that we have it. And that's where the problem starts, because from then on, the proposed solution to just wake everybody up and sort of globally transition into this new whatever, I think that's amazingly naive. And I think that's based on some incorrect assumptions. And I'm hoping that I can clarify some of those and also offer some alternatives or get us closer to a solution. And here's what I mean. In no particular order. First of all, the assumption that we can at one point just scan the planet and take what we need. This sort of works with the assumption that the Earth is just pristine and it's open for all of us and it's free for the taking. It's sort of a US cowboy, wild west pioneer mentality. We go there and whatever we see and we like, we take. And this would work if we did it on, say, the moon. We go there and whatever we see, it doesn't belong to anybody and we just take it and it works. Now, on Earth, it doesn't really work like that. And why is that? Well, let me explain. It's inhabited, it's inhabited. So, hoping to clarify my position and also to offer some hopefully better alternative, let me just run this by you one time. Let's assume we move into the future as much as we need and Earth is all colonized and it's all covered with Venus project cities and clean energy and it's all good and awesome. And then we make a bunch of spaceships and colony spaceships with like 100,000 people on board. And we send them out into space and colonize and do a bunch of great stuff. Now, something happens to one of these ships with 100,000 people on board and it goes wrong and it crash lands onto an inhabited planet where the natives are sort of intelligent and they're like reasonably developed technologically and you're in pretty good shape because like they haven't killed you on sight like they would have done a few centuries ago due to their superstitions. So you're in good shape. You just crash landed and now you have to either make a bunch of cities to live in them like kings, like you do back home, or get a bunch of resources together to build another massive space colonization ship to get back home. And both of these require massive amounts of resources, which of course the natives won't just give to you because they live there and they need it and they just don't feel like it. It's not your planet. You just landed there. You're guests there, right? So what options do you have? Well, obviously, if you have a bunch of nukes and blasters and stuff, you can force them from the natives, right? Clearly, back on Earth, with the movement here, that doesn't work. We don't have armies. We don't have anything. The second option, which is probably more like the spirit of the movement, is to trade for them, right? You go there, you have the technology, advanced technology, and you have some people, maybe your robots are broken, but you have people who have the know-how to build more, they just need some resources, and then you start. You build some farms, you build some whatever, you start trading crossbows or Kevlar or whatever, and soon enough you have, enough metal for the first robots, enough stuff to build the first power generators and so on and so forth. And if you fast forward that over a few decades, you might be able to get everything you need together for either building cities or expanding your way of life enough to either leave or stay there and so on, peacefully with the natives, without changing their whole civilization and their way of life. So just ask this question. All the Venus Project or Zeitgeist Movement people in the future that will meet inhabited planets, how will they go about landing there and with a small group of people and some know-how and with local materials that belong to the natives, set up an outpost or set up an embassy or help the natives develop economically and technologically? They won't take the approach that you're taking right now. That is, just tell all the natives that what they're doing is wrong and then convince them all to come to our way of thinking, which is unproven by the way, and then we'll make everything work. It doesn't work like that. You take what you have, like 1,000 people or 100,000 or whatever, and scraps of your spaceship, and you start building. And what you don't need, you trade for it. I mean, what you don't have and need, you trade for it with the natives. And if you look at the current situation on Earth right now, we can, with the current non-working monetary system, we can buy robots from China. If you have the designs, they'll build it for us. We can do a whole bunch of stuff. It's just that you have to prove your system. And you have to do it with what you have. Currently, my understanding is that the movement has like 500,000 on and off believers or participants or members. And if you look through them, you might find some people with decent know-how into robotics, into logistics, building businesses, building all sorts of things. I've seen them on the ThinkSpeak channel. They're there. They're just not put into a workable system. And this is the one situation that I wanted to run by you. Another shorter one, much simpler. Let's take 50 people, 100 people, right? And we go back in time, either medieval times or ancient Egypt or Stone Age, hunter-gatherers, right? And assuming we don't die on arrival, killed by the priest or whatever, I think we would probably be able to survive there and even more make the nations that we live in, or the areas that we live in, thrive economically and technologically. I mean, why is that? First of all, we just know about things like the assembly line and the economies of scale, the specialization of labor, and just applied there, even if we don't know how to hunt or anything, or build carriages and grow horses, just applying that stuff that we know now from the future to those ancient places would solve the problem. And we wouldn't have to convince the whole country to do it. No, we just do it ourselves, maybe a few neighbors, and it will grow from there. And we'll be able to trade for anything we need. And I think this is the approach that we have to take here. I think it's very much naive to think that we should convince the whole fucking planet that the Venus way of doing things is right. It's not something that's workable. It doesn't work. Would you do this on every alien planet? Would you do this? Why would you do it here? Right? You have a bunch of people and their resources and their conviction and their ability to put in labor for this cause, and it's not being used. It's not being used for 2 or 3 years now. It's just more people know about it. More people know about a system that doesn't work, and it's unproven, and it's unclear. And I'm hoping that the next video or movie or interactive game or whatever the next step will be, will contain more about how to make these small units of 50, 100, 1,000 people that work better than a company of 50, 100 or 1,000, and that show that you actually have the technological edge, that by using the scientific method you get something better than what we have now. And if you can't do it for 50, 100 or 1,000 people, I'm pretty much convinced you cannot do it for 5 billion, because you don't have the experience, the know-how, whatever. And yeah, give some replies. I think I haven't addressed some points that I wanted to address, but give some comments and replies, and I'll make another video on this very same topic. Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.